First question for John Diebel. I know your pitching staff was short, but to take positives away from the game, pitching staff did a fine job today. What did you see out of that?
Yeah, I think we pitched really well. We just we didn't hit, which is our strength. So I thought we were in both games and had a chance to win both games, but we just couldn't drive in a run when we needed to.
Tomiyama looked pretty sharp through his first 3 innings, but didn't escape the 4th. What were the Bandits able to do against him and knock him out of the game?
I think he just left some pitches up in the zone, especially his off-speed stuff, and didn't finish them off. But he's been great for us all year. So he gave up 3 home runs in that inning, which that's unusual. But I just thought he left his off-speed stuff up in the zone.
Final pitch count for Ruzic was 114 over his 7 innings. I know you were asking a lot of him in his Aces debut. What was your, I know not your first impression, but in an Aces uniform, your first impression of him?
Look, I thought he threw the ball really well. The 2 home runs were hit probably wouldn't have been home runs at any other field. But, you have to play here and that's fine. But I thought he threw the ball really well. And, I think he was unlucky to give up those home runs. I think Campbell's one, he got jammed on that pitch, but in saying that, he did a great job, and he did exactly what we needed from him because we were short on arms. We were going to be short on arms for tomorrow, but now we're loaded up. So it was a great effort for him to get 7 innings out for us.
Finally, though, the comebacks came short in both ends of the doubleheader. You established a pretty substantial rally in the final frame. What encourages you about that moving forward?
Look, our situational hitting all year has been terrible, and today was no exception. We never moved a runner over. We never got a runner in from third with less than 2 out. And, they're the things that really hurt, and they count especially in one-run ball games. So, and I think in both games that we didn't execute situationally. So, it's something we've got to improve on, but we haven't been good at it all year.
Next question is for Dusan Ruzic, who pitched Game 2 for the Aces and went 7 strong innings. Dusan, I know it's been kind of a whirlwind season for you. What led you to the Aces, and what did you like out of your first start with them tonight?
I'm really happy to be with the Aces back home, so that's as far as I want to touch base with that one right now. It's been a bit of a whirlwind season, like you said, but really happy to be here. I'm drawing so much strength and confidence from Deebs and the staff at the Aces, and going out there and playing baseball is fun. So I enjoy going out there and competing against a good Bandits team. So it's always good to pitch in this ballpark and try and compete and keep the ball in the yard. So. Yeah,
you're an ABL veteran and a veteran of Australian baseball, if there is to be a distinction between the two. There are national team guys spread out all across this league, but pretty high concentration of them on this Bandits club. How did your familiarity with this roster come into play tonight?
I've never really worried about a hitter's strength. I've always worried about my strength and throwing to my strength. So, I think if it's Japan or Cuba or the Bandits, I'm going to go out there and throw my game, and it's an easier game to throw than to each hitter that may come in.
Finally, after allowing the home run to Dutton in the 4th inning, you did not allow a hit the rest of the way, and you finished strong at a time when your team needed you to go deep into the ball game. What adjustments were you able to make in the second half of your start to get that second win?
I was always confident, like Deeb's touch base, the balls that went out obviously go on the scoreboard, but they didn't really, knock me down a whole bunch. I've got all the guys on the team that pick me right back up, and it's super easy to play with a good group of guys. So, I wanted to go a bit further in the game, but he just wanted to pull me. So, yeah.
Next question for Mitchell Ellis, making his return to Brisbane after playing for the Bandits last year. As it turned out, there were plenty of hits for you guys in Game 1, but you had the first of them to break up a perfect game bid in the 6th inning. Tell me about that at bat and your approach. I know you didn't barrel it up, but you found the right spot.
I was just looking to get something middle up. Ended up battling a little, and then got probably not my best swing, but was able to stay middle and get it through, so I was pretty happy.
I believe it was an 0-2 count, at least at some point in that at-bat, and you were able to get the base hit out of it. Does your approach change on 0-2?
Yeah, well, I'm obviously not a big, strong guy, so I'm not a big power guy. I'm just trying to move the ball and put it in play and make something happen, which worked out well there.
You also got your second career ABL pitching appearance, and you did pretty well out there, a 1-2-3 inning. How did that come about, and what did you think of your turn on the mound?
It's fun. It's fun getting out there, different opportunity to compete. Deebs just gave me a tap on the shoulder going in that last one, asking me to go down the pen, and I was like, well, I'm actually leading off. So, no, we've been trying to get me in for a while now, and opportunity came, and I jumped at it.
It's your first career strikeout. I noticed that you did not take the ball out of circulation as it happened. But do you have any mementos from that?
No, none. So hopefully I get a few more and can keep something from that.
All right. We'll pass the mic on to Paul Campion.
Thank you. The home runs are missing yesterday for the Bandits. Obviously, Lutz Campbell back today. It was almost an adjustment for the Bandits. What adjustments do you make for tomorrow? What are we going to see?
Oh, look, we've just got to keep, they're very left-hand dominant, and our plan coming in here this year was to beat the Bandits, of course, and having Helsel back being a lefty and Tolles being a lefty, we thought we were pretty, armoured up pretty good, but that sort of plan has fallen away. But I think our right-hand pitchers threw the ball well today, and Lutz is a good hitter, and I think the two, not taking anything away from them, I thought they were, they weren't real legit home runs, but
they were over the fence.
Yeah, they were over the fence.
That's legit to me.
Yeah, and did you listen to what I said?
Yeah,
not taking anything away from them. If you're going to
be, that's what I'm saying.
So
they're both
legitimate
home runs.
Yeah, well,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, John, Dushan, and Mitchell. We'll be back with the Bandits in a few moments. All right, welcome back to the Bandits post-game press conference. With us after the Bandits doubleheader sweep, we have Donald Lutz, David Nielsen, Tim Atherton, and Jeremy Martinez. First question for David Nielsen. We talked before the game today about how just one day can make a big difference in the way that you can look at an outlook of the season. After 2 wins and getting the course corrected today, how do you feel?
Yeah, obviously you feel a lot better about the outcomes of today, but I think just going back, we understand that that's what's going to be like every day. That you try not to get too high, you try not to get too low, and we just, as I've been saying, we just need to stick to the routines we've been doing. So it's good to get some rewards for it. It's good to score some runs, and I think I said last night, energy comes from scoring runs. So obviously there's a bit more energy on the team and within the crowd when we do that.
Big pitching performance in Game 1 from Tim Atherton. I know that you're probably in a better spot than the Aces are in terms of the pitching staff, but you always want to get length out of your guys. How important was it for him to finish the job after the perfect game bid was broken up?
Well, yeah, first thing you try to do is win the game, and I thought he was the best guy. He's really, even though he hadn't had a few pitches, he was really working hard, and I thought he could finish it. So, moving forward, Corey went deep in the game, and it really weighs in tomorrow. It really helps us out tomorrow. Obviously, Travis has been throwing the ball really well. We're looking forward to his work on the mound tomorrow, and hopefully, we'll be fresh in the back end of the bullpen.
Atherton, though he pitched well his last time out, didn't have any strikeouts. He backed that up with 12 strikeouts over his performance today. What was he doing well with his pitches?
Well, he located his fastball very well, and then mixed in his curveball, kept him off balance. And, when he does that, as we've seen over the years, he's very successful.
Ryan Searle got the 6-out save. First 5 outs came quite easily. The last one took a little bit of anxiety, but you stuck with him. Why is he your guy at the end of the bullpen?
Well, like everyone else, we just got to work through stuff. He's been our guy. He's earned that role. As you said, he pitched really well the first 5 outs, and got a little bit hairy there at the end. But he worked through it, and he's been in that situation before, and no one knows better how to work out of that jam than Surly.
We'll now move on to Donald Lutz, who hit a long 2-run homer in tonight's game. Donald, how are you feeling at the plate?
Yeah, a little better. Been working with Dingo, been in the cage a little bit, and things starting to come around a little bit.
That was the culmination of a 5-batter sequence that saw your team score all of the 5 runs in that game. Obviously, Tomiyama was pitching well today, but what were you able to do against him to ambush him to start the 4th?
I feel like hitting is always contagious. Wade, got it going with a nice shot down the line, and then, you just go out there and, have fun. You know what I mean? It's always a little easier once somebody gets it going and the ball gets rolling. And I battled that at bat. Fouled off. First, AB made some good pitches. And I was like, okay, hey, but. And then next at B, fouled a couple off, and then I think he just hung one, and got
There
it.
were a couple big game-changing at-bats with the bases loaded in Game 2. One ended the game. Another one came all the way back in the first inning when you tracked down a deep fly ball off the bat of Luke Hughes. With the wind blowing out to right field, how did you track that one down, and what was your thought process as you made that catch?
When I went down the line, I was first, it's always, the bullpen was actually helping me out a little bit. It's good they communicate and let you know what a wall is. And we're just, fortunate enough it stayed in there.
We'll now talk to Tim Atherton, who delivered a complete game performance in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Another complete game, just the third in your career, but all three have come here in the last 2 seasons. What, at this stage of your career, gives you the confidence to go deep into a ball game like that?
I think it's just the culmination of the work that you put in during the week. It comes down to that day. Like, I know the boys are going to play 2 games today, and if I can help the bullpen out in any way by going deep into a game or completing the game, then that's going to make us so much stronger for that second game where maybe we are a little bit tired or whatever it might be, and then it gives Dingo a lot of options to have guys that are fresh rather than throwing back-to-back games. So it's just, I guess being a little bit savvy too, getting ahead. I think in this ballpark here, you've got to be confident in yourself, and you have to shy away from the walk. It's never the home run that hurts you here, it's always the walk before the home run. So I think going deep into games is just trying to get guys out early.
15 up, 15 down in a 7-inning game. We took notice of that up in the broadcast booth. Was that in your thought process at all in the dugout, if not on the mound?
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes guys in the dugout sort of move away from you a little bit, but I like the idea. We had a 5-run lead, so instead of being complacent with that, individual successes behind, I used the thought of the perfect game to keep that pressure applied to myself so that I stayed on edge and didn't give up any lazy hits or lazy walks.
You scored 3 runs against you in the 7th inning and had a chance to tie the game late, but you came through and ended up sealing the deal. Were you fading a bit at the end, or was that just circumstance with a couple bloopers falling in?
No, never, mate. Could have started again game 2. No, it was just disappointing in myself that I wasn't able to finish a game again this season strongly, and that's been what I would think is my memo the last few years, is that I finished stronger. But I don't think it was through anything other than we're facing a good ball club in Melbourne, and they got a few hits that made it through the infield. So that's why a perfect game is so rare, because we're pitching against good hitters, and I just think that just didn't make a couple of pitches when I probably could have.
We'll talk now to Jeremy Martinez, who hit a homer in Game 1 and caught a good game in Game 2. I'll ask you the same question I asked Donald about that 5-run ambush in the 4th inning. How were you able to get the pitcher back on his heels and make the most of the opportunities that you got?
Yeah, just the second time through, just knowing how he's going to attack you, watching hitters before you to see what the sequence is and that much. Logan did a great job by, kind of loosening up the dugout a little bit, and then I was fortunate to put a good swing and a good count, and then Letsy finished it off with a big 2-run home run. So that's always big for us and momentum for, Atho and for the team.
5 1/3 good innings out of Corey Taylor tonight. He did not have a clean inning in his entire outing. He was pitching with men aboard for pretty much the entire night, but the line score speaks for itself. What was he doing well?
He was just competing. He was battling. He was being a workhorse today. It wasn't easy, like you said, and he made some big-time pitches in some situations, and we were just on the same page, and he just battled, and he's a great pitcher, so he's able to trust his sinker and trust his cutter and get soft contact.
Long day at the yard, made shorter by the fact that you won both games and you were only catching for one of them, and it's not as hot as it has been or will be, but I know that takes a wear on you guys down on the field. How did you hold up in this Australian heat?
It's been fun. Dingo does a good job by telling us stay hydrated, work on the body, focus on the body, and that's what we're here for. We're here to win ball games and be able to compete at the highest level. So how can we, like Athol said during the week, how can we put ourselves in a situation to succeed?
I'll pass the mic to Paul Gonzalez.
Just a quick one, David, and question for you. You've got 2 pretty prominent hitters, one being Young, and you look at the 3 Japanese. You've done a great job of containing. Is that all in the pre-game plan? Because young leads the league in home runs and really been able to find his number this weekend.
Yeah, they're tough to pitch to. They put a lot of pressure on you, and it really comes down to the pitchers executing the pitch. And I think so far we've done it pretty good. They've hit some balls good, but they're going to. When you have that many at bats over the course of 3 days, they're going to hit some balls good because they are good hitters. But I think right now our pitchers have been doing a great job executing the pitches and putting a lot of pressure on them.
That's it from me. Thank you.
Dave, we spoke last night just about runners left on base, but then, and the Bandits being home run hitters, and today, obviously, did you go into the dressing room last night and say, hit some home runs, boys, or what?
No, absolutely not. I always tell the guys I have confidence in them, and I reiterated that today before the game, and just, it's difficult for the fans watching to see the ups and downs, but as players and as coaches, it's just what we go through on a daily basis. It's just part of the sport we play. We don't play 1 game a week, we play 4 games a week, and when you're playing against good competition, there's going to be some really good periods and some really tough periods, and I really believe in our talent, and I keep reminding them of that, and I try not to change anything because I trust that they're going to get the job done.
And just for people listening in, being Australia's number 1 coach, could you just clarify that a home run is a ball that goes over the fence from home plate?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes the Brisbane Bandits post-game press conference after a doubleheader sweep over the Melbourne Aces. Round 6 will conclude tomorrow at 3 o'clock local time. If you can't make it out to One Home Stadium, join us here on Bandits.tv for live broadcast coverage. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.